Oh my, good morning. Feels like a Monday, don't it? Monday, February 14th, 2022. What up, what up, what up? Get up, get your body moving. It's time for First Sky Omaha in the morning. On this Valentine's Day. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Once again, fresh edition to First Sky Omaha in the morning. Welcome all my radio people over there on the Listen Button channel. How y'all doing this morning? All right, coming on in. Got Mark Manor giving us a good morning. What's happening? What's happening? Via Margolis, good mornings. You're now listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Monday, February 14th, 2022. Buddy, already deep into an article over there, I see. How you doing this morning, man?
Yeah, I'm trying to get everything in order and shape. But yeah. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Although it definitely does feel like a Monday. I have to agree with you on that one. But yeah,
Big time. Brother Muhammad in the house. He's Assalamu alaikum, Grand Risings family.
Hey, alaikum salam, brother. Pops in the house.
What's up, Pops? Good morning, fam. How you feeling this morning? Lucia Rodriguez in the house. What's up? Hey. Good morning. Good morning to you. That's right. You're right. Monday, February 14th, 2022. Fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. It is really feeling like a Monday morning today.
Yeah, man.
Maybe that's because we partied a little bit too hard on Sunday.
It's a celebration.
Yeah, it's a celebration. So I had to wear the California hat, the LA hat today, just repping a little bit this morning.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good about my West Coast family yesterday.
It was like a whole West Coast love affair. And if you're not sure what we're talking about, yesterday was Super Bowl Sunday, y'all.
Super Bowl Sunday, man. And you know I'm not a big Super Bowl. I'm not a big football fan. So
Yeah, man. Definitely with everything, the controversies going on with the NFL right now. They in the middle of another lawsuit for not hiring brothers. Getting sued again. Like
always something.
Colin Kaepernick tried to tell y'all. Now the coaches speaking up.
There you go. Brother Sanchez giving us a good morning. What's happening? Good morning to you. Yeah, how's everybody feeling on this Monday? I'm feeling very Monday-like for real today. It's rough today. Mir Sanchez says YouTube is where I be. I appreciate you, my man.
We tubing, tweeting, twitching, all that.
If you're over there on YouTube, hit the like button. We got to get a certain amount of subscribers to play that YouTube game. So appreciate you hitting that. Telling a friend. If you're on Facebook, please share the show today, so we can get it to the most people possible. Share it to somebody that you think might enjoy it and appreciate it. All we're doing is having some conversations here today, and there's a lot to be had today. I gotta acknowledge it's Valentine's Day today too, so you know what you guys' plans are for Monday nights.
For all the lovers out there.
It's California love for me today, though. It's all about that halftime show.
Yeah, I missed it. I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. But I would definitely say that's product of Jay-Z being up in there.
That's right. They were talking bad about him making them NFL deals and
right.
Getting us up in there though. Lots to talk about on that, man. You got to see.
Man,
the way that 50 Cent came in, we were just like, bro, you too old for all that. You know.
50 was on there.
50 slide and I can't believe you didn't see that.
Man, I had other obligations.
Did you watch the game?
I caught the second half. I had Sunday school to go to.
Okay.
Gotta get my spirit right.
I heard that. Leave football for later.
Exactly.
Christy Kenora says, good morning. I only watched the halftime show. I don't think I feel that. A lot of that. Yep.
That's like when you go to an HBCU game, a lot of people just go for the halftime show. See the band. Just here for the band.
Somebody told me I heard that they're gonna play a little football during the Dr. Dre Snoop Dogg concert. I was like, yeah, that's about
right. That was a football game at the show. Oh man, Dre doing it big.
We'll toss a little pigskin during the concert. I got you.
Man, okay.
So anyway, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, and those that don't follow football, there was the Super Bowl yesterday, and it was pretty big. A lot of people were disappointed because the underdogs lost. I'm happy because
yeah, that game was held in LA.
They won in LA. LA won, and then they had the LA extravaganza on the stage for halftime show.
Man, so. Snoop who else was out there? Snoop, Dre, Kendrick was out there.
Man, Mary J got out there doing the Mary J swing.
Man.
50 Cent came in upside down, hanging upside down.
Oh no, you gonna pull something
for real. They pan the camera around so you can get down. Yeah, it was a hot mess, but it was great. I loved it. Everybody's talking about Eminem taking a Kaepernick knee during the thing. That was what was up.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and check it. I didn't catch that, but
Von Chapman said, "Good morning." 50 came in upside down.
Man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to definitely go back and check that out. And Paul B, man, you know how we do on you know how we do for the Super Bowl, man. Like,
yeah,
we'll take it there. We'll take it there for the Super Bowl.
I almost called you to see if Mama God was getting down out here.
Actually, she was, man. You should have hollered it. Yeah, man. I mean, man, 1 year Paul came by, Mama God threw a whole extravaganza, crab boiled, lobster scrimps, crab legs.
I was thinking about it last night too. I was like, I should have called Mama God. She might have been cooking.
Homemade coasters, all kind of things, man. Custom coasters.
She went on, she goes all out. Love it.
I was talking to her yesterday. She was right before she hopped on the deviled egg. So yeah, she was getting down, man. Yeah. She was getting down, man. Shout out to Mama God and shout out to all of you. Let us know what you got into over the weekend. If you didn't catch the Super Bowl, how did you spend your Sunday? Before that, I was just doing a lot of cleaning. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just cleaning the house. Yeah, cleaning the house, kind of chilling out. Then of course on Saturday, ripping and running with the kids. It is kind of warming up down here, so it did make it to the park. But other than that, man, yeah, pretty chill weekend, man. How was your weekend?
Yeah, it was same, just work. Pretty much just work. I didn't really do much for fun this weekend, just work. And just laid low. So looks like everybody else has been doing some things. Michelle Moreno said, "Good morning. Halftime was everything. California love."
Hey.
Ron's review said, "I've seen Snoop, Dre, Eminem in concert, Fiddler's Green in Colorado, 2001. That's what's up."
Okay. Oh, up in Smoke Tour, man.
Remember them up in Smoke Tours. Sarah Fell says, "The first time I've seen anything NFL since the early '90s, and I only watched the halftime."
I feel it.
I think there's a lot of that going around. Judy Prinzel gives us a good morning. Love is in the air. Give it and savor it. That's what's going on. Valentine's Day today.
Yeah.
Stacey Jean says, "Good morning for Sky Omaha family and friends." Good morning. Ty Williams gives us a good morning. Brother Valentine says, "Good morning, fam." Good morning. Rome's review says, "I made bacon wrap, jalapeno poppers, guacamole, and hummus."
So okay.
Getting down for Super Bowl.
Man, had the platter. Had the spread.
Yep. Miss Erica Fell says, "I had to cancel nice plans last night because I had a fever."
Oh man,
ain't feeling good. Take care now.
Get well soon.
Drink your water, like you said. Keep your space. Yeah. Judy Prince says, "Heard Hector Anchondo at the Durham Museum." That's what's up, man.
Okay, I know Hector was out there. Shout out to him. Gets down.
For Hector. For people that don't know, Hector Anchondo is an awesome blues guitarist.
Yeah, man.
Won all kinds of blues awards in the country, all kinds of stuff. So Omaha Gym, Hector Anchondo at one of my favorite places in Omaha, Durham Museum.
Also, shout out to a friend of the film, Adam Soul. I saw she was performing. I saw that on social. She performed at Durham Museum as well. I'm not sure what they got going on over there, but keep it up, y'all. Keep it up, Durham.
You have to go check them out. Von Chapman said 50 Cent was a whole $1 last night.
No, oh man, oh man.
Yeah. It was kind of funny. I don't know. He looked like he was wearing a tight girdle or something too. I don't know. He looked real uncomfortable last night. And speaking of that, anybody let me know, was there a concert in Omaha last night?
A cousin of mine posted some videos on Facebook. It was like,
oh yeah, dude, Jagged Edge. It wasn't last night. It wasn't last night. It was like Friday night or something. It was
oh man, yeah, them dudes was looking old too, man.
it was all them, man. Drew Hill, you know what I'm saying? It was that gang. It was that bunch right there. Drew Hill. But everybody was out there though. Everybody came to that.
Okay,
I ain't seen more black people in one place than in Omaha since
it's been a minute.
The Keith Sweat concert.
Okay. Well, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Y'all, be safe. Be safe if you do step out. But yeah, I just saw a couple of videos of that. I was like, oh man, they still at it, huh? Still at it, huh?
Still doing it, bro. So it's gonna sell out every time too, man. That's that old school love nostalgia.
Hey,
nasty 90s R&B.
Love is in the air, man.
There it is. We'll get into this. Judy Prinzer says for Black History Month. Mark Mander says Billie Holiday photo exhibit at the Durham. Okay, that's what's up.
Dope.
Michelle Moreno says Saturday night. Did you go? Did you check out that concert Saturday night?
Let us know.
Miss Erica Fell said his girdle was choking him and love the look Snoop's dancers had. Made 50 look clownish, in my opinion. He did. He looked very uncomfortable, man. He looked very uncomfortable in what he was wearing. And then that whole coming in upside down thing was just like he was just, you could see him neck straining. Yeah, it was rough. But it was good. I mean, you forget that In the Club song is a Dre beat. So that was dope.
Yeah.
Yep. Michelle Moreno said Drew Hill did their thing.
Okay. Stepped out. Well, hopefully everybody enjoyed the weekend, whatever you got into. I would definitely appreciate you. As you can see, the chat is going. So definitely, if you got into anything over the weekend, jump into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Let us know how you're feeling on this Monday. We do have several things to dive into today other than the weekend. So we'll definitely be getting into it. We actually have 2 guests coming in today. So it will be a jam-packed day. We have Brianna Full.
Yes,
part of the fam, a friend of the show who's stepping into the fray, if you will, running for school board. So we'll be talking to her today about her run, and then also, and we have continuing our series, our conversation with our partners over at Flatwater Free Pres. So they'll be by to speak with one of their journalists to let us know what she's working on as well. And in the meantime, in between time, definitely going to be getting into this Dave Chappelle story. Getting more of an insight in where Dave stood on this whole quote unquote affordable housing situation.
Mm-hmm.
And then also speaking of affordable housing, we kind of mentioned it again. There's one thing to get in a house. It's a whole nother thing to stay in the house. And now it's been reported that landlords are still finding a way to evict tenants even after receiving the aid. So yeah, we'll talk about that, man. They're running off on the plug, man.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. Speaking of running off on a plug, Sarah Johnson says she's had it with city council.
She said enough is enough.
Man, she ran out on her last city council meeting. So we'll talk about that and more. Of course, you're tuned in to a fresh Monday edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you. Let's go.
Good morning. Good morning. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. It is Valentine's Day, February the 14th, 2022. And I want to thank everybody for coming on this early Monday morning with us. Really appreciate it. People still talking about the halftime show in the chat. So I guess I know what you guys did this weekend. Let us know what you did this weekend. Brother Black Dynamite, you're right, bro. I was like that, thinking that too. Us drummers was like, oh, that's Anderson .Paak on the drums. Is he gonna do something? And then he just drummed. So I was like, okay, respect.
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, good stuff going on this morning. Appreciate you. Pops thinks that 50 Bogart his way on the show.
I can see that.
He did see like a last minute addition for sure, but he
I don't
wasn't
even.
he wasn't Inglewood, so he wasn't Bogarting his way nowhere. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, he was a last minute addition, and it did kind of look like that. It felt like that.
Yeah, I don't think him coming in upside down was a part of the plan. He might have just been.
He's like, yo, can I hang from that? Can I hang from that? Let me try something.
Like, yeah, coming upside down.
I thought it was funny when they moved the camera away so he can turn around, he can get down without the camera being on him.
See, I told you. See, that's another sign that wasn't a part of the plan. They just played it off.
Got a good morning from Josh Tay. Good morning, friends. What's up, Josh? How you doing, brother? Yeah, man. Lots to talk about today, so I'm gonna go ahead and quit talking, let Buddy get into it.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and dive into it, man. Hopefully everyone is doing all right, feeling good, coming in high spirits. Yep. As always, feel free to chime into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. And of course, let us know how you feel on these topics. We'll kick off today's show talking about affordable housing, something that, of course, we all talk about here a lot on the show because it's relevant to all of us. And quite honestly, when you have secure housing, when you don't have to worry about being evicted or how you're going to pay your rent, it just goes a long way in easing your mind and making your day-to-day life a lot simpler. So, again, affordable housing and securing housing goes a long way. Actually, to be quite candid, I'm in the process of moving myself. So this is definitely something that's relevant in my life, and I know a lot of you are dealing with this. But also, Dave Chappelle has this in common. Again, Dave Chappelle, legendary comedian, but also business owner and quite a active member of a village in Ohio, Yellow Springs, Ohio, to be exact. And this is the area where there's actually a pretty, I guess, intense affordable housing battle that's going on. Old Barrel Land Developers is a for-profit company that develops land in the Yellow Springs area, and they are looking to build a quote-unquote affordable housing unit. They have plans for a planned use development in the second plan, along with townhomes and duplexes. The developer would have created a public park, water retention ponds, offered also 1.75 acres to the city to develop 20 units of quote-unquote affordable housing. In exchange, the city would maintain the park, the roads, street lighting, and retention ponds. So to be clear, apparently, and this is all surrounding the buzzword, as we like to call it, of affordable housing, because Oberer, the developer itself, never actually offered affordable housing. The city admittedly didn't have the resources to build affordable housing itself. So anyone who actually watched the entire village council meeting where Chappelle showed up and made his now infamous remarks should have wondered why none of the residents actually referred to the proposal as an affordable housing plan. They only referred to it as a PUD, which again is a planned use development plan, or just simply the Oberer plan. And that's simply because no one offered to build this proposed affordable housing situation. All the residents of Yellow Spring had was a red spot on a piece of paper offered by a company that was going to make millions by quote unquote not building affordable housing, regardless of what the city decided. The only thing lacking the so-called affordable housing plan was housing that was actually affordable, and a plan behind it.
Wow.
Apparently, the petition for the site, or excuse me, opposing the site, gained 438 signatures, and Chappelle never actually stated why he objected to his tax dollars helping the developer make a larger profit. But the interference made a multimillionaire was apoplectic, about the 20 people moving into a neighborhood where he did not live strains credulity. And again, this is a coming from an article from an economist who's Michael Harriet from the Griot. In his opinion, he says, aside from nuanced economics and the trend of increased housing prices, the hullabaloo over the comedian's opposition to affordable housing missed one important point. Dave Chappelle didn't oppose necessarily affordable housing. So again, this goes to the heart of what is affordable housing. How do we define it? which I believe Brother Von Chapman has been adamant in the chat about that. What does it look like and what is it really? Again, it might seem from the surface in this plan that affordable housing was a part of it, but again, this was never considered an affordable housing plan.
Yeah, so the moral of this story here is we've been hearing all week long that they're trying to demonize Dave Chappelle for getting up and speaking at this meeting, opposing this plan, and the headlines have been Dave Chappelle opposes affordable housing this whole time.
Right.
And actually digging into the story a little deeper, it's a little deeper than that. They did not add any affordable housing to this plan that they were trying to put together, and that's what he was opposing. And so that comes back to this question, like, what is affordable housing? What's the definition of it? We ask this all the time. Some places have definitions of it. Nebraska doesn't. But some of the points are that these big developments that are coming in, saying that they're going to be doing affordable housing, can't just be using it as a buzzword when it's not affordable, when there's no definition.
Right. And you see how, again, as Stacey Jean said, she didn't fall for the clickbait regarding Dave Chappelle, how the buzzword affordable housing is then being weaponized, against some people, similar to how we saw critical race theory be used. But to be clear, through a spokesperson, Chappelle actually released a statement saying that neither he nor his neighbors were actually voting against affordable housing. However, they were against the poorly vetted cookie cutter sprawl style development deal, which has little regard for the community, culture, and infrastructure of the village. So,
right. On top of not having any affordable housing in the plan.
Right. Not only are you stepping in on the culture of the community, but you're also not providing anything that the community needs.
Very true. In the chat, Von Chapman says landlords are creating and using restrictive covenants to oust people from their affordable housing funded for those who are disenfranchised. That's definitely a story that we saw and wanted to get into and take a look at. So yeah, we'll definitely talk about that as well. But yeah, there's so much going on here, and it all kind of starts with, like, what is affordable housing? Like, what is it? What is the definition? Should be a definition. I can understand why it's hard to come up with one, because you got to come up with what's the cost of living? Like, what does it cost to live? What's an affordable wage? There's a whole lot of other questions that come right before what is affordable housing? Is it, they want it to be a third of what you make or a fourth of what you make when you go to apply for something.
Well, this is the interesting part. So, and this is a piece from an economist who's examining the Chappelle story. So that statement ends the Chappelle part of the story, and this economist goes into the actual housing crisis in a bigger picture. And there's actually some interesting comments. It says the question we should be asking is how the hell an entire city runs out of housing. Or why one profiteering colonizer can corner the market on literally 1/3 of a city's housing market. But instead of exploring the nuance and the complexities of the situation, the celebrity gaping culture we have cultivated as everyone on social media bashing someone who knows more about the town he lives in and spends his money developing that than the person who retweeted, excuse me. While it is a privilege to care about the subtleties like traffic, environmental impact, the aesthetic of your beloved town, housing experts and economists agree that the best way to lower rental rates and housing prices is by building new homes instead of affordable housing, quote unquote. Economist says basically when you build a bunch of new homes, the wealthier people who can afford to buy a new house will do it. Some will rent out their old houses, thereby increasing the number of available rental units and lowering the overall rent in the area. Of course, some of the new buyers will sell their old houses, but since the asking price of an old house is usually lower than the price of a new home in the same town, the prices of existing homes will fall. It's simply supply and demand.
I don't know about that.
You don't agree with that idea?
They don't ring. This sounds like a little bit like trickle down real estate. I don't know about that one. Our affordable housing is depending on whether or not people who can afford to buy new homes will. I don't know about that. We gotta hope they buy a new home and then rent out their other one so that we can have an affordable place. I don't know about that.
Well, let's talk about what's happening, because I don't think new houses are being built.
Well, that's the first thing. They're not being built.
Right.
But that's what it sounds like. That whole economist equation sounds like a formula to get some new houses built to me. Like, hey, I know how to fix this. We can build a whole bunch of new houses, and then when people can afford it, they'll buy those, and then they'll rent those. They'll rent the other ones out, or they'll sell the other ones for lower, so that you can have affordable housing. Nah, that don't sound right to me. And affordable for whom? Like Stacey Jean is asking.
That's a good question. It's a good question.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm usually with the economist, but that equation right there sounds a little off. I don't know. Von Chapman says, so what happened to these displaced to make room for the so-called affordable housing? Yep. That's true. Question. These new homes that are being built, where are they being built? There's a lot to that one. I don't know. It sounds like trickle down real estate tactics. I got a good morning from Brooke Rodriguez. Good morning to you. Appreciate you. Yeah, that's kind of, I don't know about that.
I have to think about it more. Honestly, I don't know. It sounds like on the surface, it sounds like it makes sense, but when you consider it more, how do you go about building new houses? Definitely with the price of materials right now.
I mean, like I said, man, anything for me that is going to be dependent on people with money doing something, suspect. Think about Omaha. So they build a bunch of new houses out west. So now people who live midtown, even in north, that can afford to buy a house out west, they're going to go buy a house out west, and then they'll leave their house here to be rented out at a cheaper rate for somebody, and that's supposed to be affordable housing. I don't sound like a solution to me. So I don't know.
That's a fair statement. That's a fair statement. I guess my question then is, what is the alternative, or what? So
we got to come up with a new plan. If
it's not trickle down, is it stimulating those? Is it housing subsidies?
I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. This is kind of the first time that we're hearing anybody that's trying to come up with a solution. But right off the bat, to me, that don't sound like a solution.
Well, actually, let's look at the other side. Let's go ahead and push it to the next story. Keep it moving, man, and look at this KTV7 report to kind of localize the conversation, because what's happening now is there are people who are in houses, and there are people who are getting assistance, subsidies, and somehow they're still being evicted. So again, where do we go from here? Again, this is a report from KTV7. Landlords are finding ways to evict after getting rental aid. The National Housing Law Project, in a survey last fall.
Wait a minute, wait, hold on real quick. Hold on. You got to read that first sentence again, because you kind of brushed past that like it wasn't dynamic. Say that one.
Okay. Landlords finding ways to evict after getting rental aid. So after they got their money, you're still getting kicked to the curb.
Wow.
Yeah, and this story kicks off with actually here in Atlanta, a day before she was due to be evicted in November from her Atlanta home. Chanel King heard that she had been awarded about $15,000 in rental assistance. But then the 43-year-old hairdresser got a letter last month from her landlord saying the company was canceling her lease in March, 7 months early, without any explanation. When interviewed, King says, I thought I would be comfortable again back in my home. Here I am back again up against the wall with nowhere to stay. I don't know what I'm going to do. Although the $46.5 billion emergency rental assistance program has paid out tens of billions of dollars to help avert eviction crisis, some tenants like King who received help are finding themselves threatened with eviction. Yet again, many are finding it nearly impossible to find another affordable place to live. Aaron Willenby, director of the Clayton Housing Legal Resource Center here in Atlanta, says it is a Band-Aid. It was never envisioned as anything more than a Band-Aid. according to a survey from last fall from the National Housing Law Project, which surveyed nearly 120 legal aid attorneys and civil rights advocates. They found that 86% of respondents reported cases in which landlords either refused to take assistance or accepted the money and still moved to evict tenants. The survey also found a significant increase in cases of landlords lying in court to evict tenants and illegally locking them out. National Apartment Association President and CEO Bob Pinniger said the survey was not based on facts, adding that its members are doing everything they can, to keep tenants in their homes, including lobbying to get rental assistance out faster. Pinniger said in a statement, skewed surveys aren't reflective of the entire situation. By and large, the rental housing industry has gone to great lengths to support residents, including when it comes to rental assistance, and adheres to laws and regulations.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds shiesty.
Very, very slippery.
And I would like to add to this report the statistics in which tenants go into eviction court without a lawyer are overwhelmingly against the tenant. It's almost 80-90% of the time when the tenant loses that case in court against the landlord.
Yeah. We have we had a guest on that is doing some volunteer work as a lawyer, Dave Pontos.
Yep.
And he's said he's overwhelmed by all the cases. There's too many cases. He's trying to do some pro bono work to help people, be able to keep their spot. It's hard out here for people to do anything right now when it comes to housing. In the chat, the chat's kind of going off. Pop says, I still think that the official definition of affordable housing ought to be a percentage of a person's income, and companies that build affordable housing should be held accountable for that. Yeah, I definitely think, there's more conversations to be had about what is a living wage and everything else before we can even get to that definition. So, that's a good solution. Black Dynamite says, and even that cheaper rate is still going to be high as the Georgia pine.
Man,
Snaps Dennis in the house says, out of 55 acres, only under 2 were allocated for affordable housing.
Talking about the Dave Chappelle situation,
right? Okay. Ariel's 402 says affordable housing equals mean, mode, medium, average income of a city. Then 30% of that number is affordable housing.
Question. I'm not sure.
Very good question. I'm not sure either. Vaughn Chapman says, when I looked at those displaced in Omaha and the increase in juvenile justice beds and growth in expanding prisons, I see this as building affordable housing for the less fortunate. That's deep.
It is. That is.
Yeah. Good comments on this subject. Of course, this is one of these evergreen things that we talk about all the time, affordable housing. That's why we have jumped into the Friends of First Sky Omaha page and pulled some stuff that you guys have put out about it. And also some things caught our ear, especially this Dave Chappelle case, because this buzzword, man, there's some words that floats around here all the time. CRT, critical race theory, affordable housing is another phrase that we come back to all the time. So, I think that the question is still out there. Every time we talk about this, the question is what is the definition of affordable housing? And then, of course, what are some of the solutions? 7:33 right now. If you're keeping track of time, if you believe in the concept, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. We got our special guest coming in, so stay tuned for that. Right after the break, maybe we can jump in. So she came in early for us, and we can talk to Brianna Full, who's running for school board. So don't you touch nothing. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Once again, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. you guys are feeling pretty good on this Monday, February the 14th. It is Valentine's Day today. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. It's all about California love today, y'all, because yesterday was like Cali Day. So I hope y'all ain't too mad about it. Who's on the Bengals tip yesterday? Like to know. Put it in the chat. Are you disappointed? You feeling bad? Who is a Rams fan? That's really what I want to know. I really want to know that part because everybody was on that Bengals. But
are you disappointed? Feeling bad? Jeez, you're feeling bad, ain't you?
Is your heart broken on this Valentine's Day? Man. Let us know. Let us know. Well, got a hi from Zane. What's up, dude?
Hey,
my dude.
What's
going on, brother?
Chris Bolin is from Cincinnati.
Is that right? Chris Baby Boy Bolin. He's probably crying in his sleep. I thought it was funny. Last show, he was like, "You said you weren't going to say that." I said, "No such a thing." You know, I was going to say it.
Man, we told you.
That's what's up. Black Dynamite in the house says, "I think that some of these bigger companies that own multiple apartment complexes should build houses and run it the same way as the complex." That's the thought. Judy Prince says, "Love the halftime show." Yep. Little California love. Me too. Hey. Appreciate you. And, without further ado, let's go on and bring our guest in. It's 7:36 right now if you're keeping track of time. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Brianna Full in the house.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hi. Hello. Can you hear me okay?
I sure can.
Okay. Hi, how are you guys doing?
Well, we're hanging in there this morning. It's kind of a case of the Mondays, but at the same time, we had a good time yesterday, so let's drag on until today. Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm pretty good. I also had a good time yesterday. Celebrated Galentine's Day with my friends, and it was really fun.
What'd you guys do?
We went to Bar 39. DJ Crabber Gucci was DJing. Yes, my girl Shalise.
That's my favorite DJ in Omaha right there.
I know. It was really fun. So I had a blast.
Yeah. Good. I'm sorry. I was actually gonna slide by and things just got out of hand last night and I didn't get to go, but Bar 39 has been going off.
It was really fun. And Shalise is like chef's kiss. She's amazing.
Oh yeah. Shout out to her.
Well, that's what's up.
Yeah. I had to check that out. I haven't heard about that place. And also been seeing the Galentines a lot. So, love is in the air. It's a beautiful thing. And but we're here to talk about your love for the community. Of course, you're running for a school board at District 2, correct?
I sure am. My name is Bree Full, and I'm running for school board in District 2, which is primarily North Omaha, if we're being honest. So, I'm really excited about the prospect of potentially, getting elected and representing the community. And I love North Omaha. I feel like I would be a great representative. And I'm just excited to jump into it. And I really want to, make sure that people are heard and their voices matter, not just listening to them, but actually implementing what they recommend. I feel like that's a really huge deal in our community right now. It's like these policymakers come in and they host these listening sessions, they host these forums, they want to hear from the community, and then what do they do about it?
What they want to.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And so I really would like to change that status quo because as a person who is involved in their community, I want to be heard, and I want to make sure that other people are heard as well too. So
all right. Well, that's nice introduction right there. I kind of answered a lot of the questions before I could ask them. But first of all, for a lot of people who are part of the Friends of First Sky Omaha group on Facebook, there's a video on that page. If you haven't checked that out, I definitely urge you to go ahead and do so to get a little bit more information. But I am kind of curious just to a little bit of your background. I did do a little preliminary research, and I actually did not know that you were sort of wrapped up in the Freedom Summer activities. I know that you attempted to organize the Blackout event, and you're kind of part of that doxing situation where OPD released a lot of people's information, and we saw that there's some surveillance going on. So I'm kind of curious how you got in, how you kind of go from that to running for a school board.
Yeah. So, like you said, I tried to host an event in the summer of 2020. After after that whole explosion of social justice initiatives started because of the death of George Floyd, or the murder, I should say. And that really inspired me to do something about the injustice that I saw in my own community. And so that's kind of what prompted me to get started. I did kind of advocacy work, but it was on a different level. It wasn't so much like criminal justice. It was more about reproductive justice and reproductive health reforms. So that's kind of my background. I got my bachelor's degree in public health, and I kind of specialized in sexual health. So that's kind of where my mindset is coming from. I'm always trying to get to the bottom of an issue, to the, what do they call it? It's like a thinking upstream, thinking about the systemic issues and how do we fix those instead of just putting a Band-Aid on our issues. But yeah, I was a part of the doxing situation that OPD did to activists in Omaha. It really disappointed me because I felt like the police and they're supposed to be there to protect me, to protect my rights. And they did the exact opposite. They violated, my personal freedoms and my right to protest. And I wasn't advocating for anything violent. I was just trying to, advocate for reforms in our community. And yeah, so that's kind of where I come from. And how did I get to that point to school board? That's a really good question. I always knew that I wanted to make a difference by enacting policy. I think that policy is an incredible tool, a very powerful tool that we have to fix the problems in our community. And so, what better way to enact policy than to become a policymaker yourself? I feel like I have really great ideas for how we can make the community and OPS schools a better place. And yeah, I guess that's kind of it.
Okay. Yeah, you feel like you want to do something, so you're doing something. I don't feel like it should be too much more than that. If you want to do some good, do some good. So we definitely appreciate you for stepping up. We do have a couple questions in the chat. I don't know, Paul, you wanted to hop to that, or if you have some questions.
I had one by Mayor Sanchez that's asking a pretty important question, like, who is your mentor, inspiration? Where you just kind of talked about how you got started. So who helped you?
My first mentor was in college, and she had a pivotal role in my trajectory for the rest of my life, really. Her name is Sophia Jawed Wessel. I don't know if you've heard of her. She is a reproductive health justice advocate professor at UNO, and she definitely inspired me in many different ways. Just showed me what it means to be a strong, loud, brown woman who can make changes in their community. And deal with the tough issues. She was really pivotal in the reforms that were passed in, I think it was 2016, to OPS's sexual education standards. And so that's kind of where I got a lot of where I'm coming from and my mindset. And of course, other women who have played roles in my life who are very important to me. You don't know who they are, but her name is Laura Santamaria, and she is an amazing woman. She worked at Boys Town, and she also had a really pivotal role in my life. She's just a strong brown woman who wants to make a difference in her community, and she did, and she changed the lives of thousands of kids, including mine. So
that's what's up. Sophia is the homie. She's definitely one of the friends of Sky Omaha. That's I was glad when you said that name. It's like, that's what's up. Yeah, awesome. Von Chapman is in here with a soapbox sized comment.
Yeah, saying, actually, I read through it, and I could.
Can you paraphrase it?
Yeah, I can paraphrase for you. And this is actually where I wanted to go with the conversation and diving into a couple of the issues that are present in our school system and how you plan to address it as a school board member. And one of the things that is very prevalent right now, actually, on the Friends of Sky Omaha page, someone shared a video of a fight that happened in King Science Middle School, which actually is a school I went to. And actually, I saw there was also a report of like officer involved incident where officer was recently injured at King Middle School. There's a post on Omaha Scanner page, and so Brother Von Chapman is asking about some of the PTSD and the mental state of some of our students, and some, just be honest, the violence that's in our schools. Brother Von Chapman asks, how about asking the 100 Black men for their presence in some of the troubled OPS schools in the district, or Omaha 360 Empowerment Network, African American Achievement Council, also some of the women's empowerment groups in the community. He says, remember, it takes a village. So how about, what are your thoughts about including some of these people, or do you know if there are any prohibited or prohibitions by funding sources? So what are your thoughts about that?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm looking at the comment, and he says that we need to be more proactive, and
Yep.
I agree 100,000% about that. Oh, there's Senator Carol Blood.
Hey, Carol Blood. Hey.
Oh, she gave me some Valentine's donuts. How sweet.
Oh.
Sorry. But anyways, I definitely think that we need to be more proactive when we're dealing with the mental health of our students, and bringing in these community organizations to help support doing that, because to be honest, the schools can't do it all by themselves. It's going to take a village, and we need to bring in those groups who are already established in the community, who have those connections, who probably already know some of the kids and the parents in the community, to come in and offer their support. And we need to get comprehensive mental health in our schools, because our children are suffering and they have PTSD from a myriad of things, but definitely COVID has exacerbated the issue of their mental health, and we need to get it under control. Because, kids come to school as their whole selves. They can't leave the fact that they don't have anything to eat at home, or they don't have a bed to sleep on. Like, they can't leave that at home. They come to school with that, and we have to acknowledge that, and we have to treat the entire child in a very holistic way. And that starts with, I feel like, getting their needs met and having more comprehensive mental health in our schools, and bringing in these community groups to support that.
Yeah, I like that answer. One thing on this subject I wanted to bring out, on the Friends of Sky Omaha page, we had somebody went ahead and posted that footage of that fight. And in there, Joaquin Fox, who around here we call Joaquin Fox be singing.
He's a good singer.
Right? I was like, I had never known.
We had karaoke a few times at the Culture House. It was fun.
What? I didn't know you guys was doing that over there. We got to do that. That sounds great. I'm gonna bring the house down with my Purple Rain, but don't let me get me started. Brother Joaquin Fox be singing said, a reminder that children are children. Children fight sometimes. Some children fight a lot. This is not an indication of the state of Black parenthood, but a common reality that children do childish things. How we respond to these things is indicative of how we are either complicit or not in the adultification of our Black children, and we should be mindful of how complicity plays into the broader narrative of seeing Black children as adults, which therefore disqualifies them from ideas like mercy and grace. I fully agree with that statement. I think it's an awesome statement that he did, especially on the news this morning. I heard that a couple of those kids are going to be charged with misdemeanor or felony assault.
Wow.
for a child for a fight at a middle school. Like, if I'd have got charged with felony assault for as many fights as I got in junior high, you know what I'm saying? Like, ridiculous.
I know.
So yeah, the adultification of our kids. Can you speak to does that ring true with you as well? A person who's trying to go into the school board, it is that our Black children are being adultified?
Yes, it does. Children have been fighting for a long time. It's not a brand new thing. You know what I mean? To the point where it is now, it might be a little different. I've heard a lot of people say these fights would always happen, but they would happen across the street, not inside of the school. Right. They would happen away. And so in that way, it's a little different. But, kids have been fighting for a long time. And the fact that we're trying to slap them with felonies for doing that, I think is ridiculous. And is not appropriate. Kids make mistakes. They need to have consequences. Do I think it needs to go on their record? No. But they do need to face the consequences and know that what they did isn't right, and they need to find other ways to get their energy out, get their anger out, healthy coping mechanisms to deal with those feelings. But should we be, like I said, giving them felonies for fighting in school? I don't think so.
It's kind of is. I mean, it's like a stereotype. It's like, meet me after school by the, not that it's that silly, but like, kids have been fighting. I can't imagine having gotten a felony on my record like before I can even really think for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids get caught up in the whole, oh, you gonna let him get away with that and all that mess. And
I'd argue even after they turn 18 and their record can't be wiped clean anymore, our brains are not done developing until we're 25 years old. Like, we don't make the best decisions when we're 18, 19, let alone like 13 and 14. So definitely adultifying our children, our Black children specifically, is definitely an issue I want to take on.
Yeah, and quite honestly, I remember being punched in the face as a kid, and it's just a quick lesson on how to talk to people. I'll just be honest; it's a quick lesson of how to talk to people.
When you talk to someone, you can tell if they've been punched in the face before.
A lot of kids haven't been punched in the face in this show.
Right.
Yeah. You just learn how to talk to people really quickly. Oh, okay, yeah, maybe I should be kinder. But on a serious note, I definitely agree and appreciate that sentiment. It would be nice to have someone in an official position, especially when it deals with our children in the school board, that understands that there's a lot of law and order sentiment and tone with a lot of elected officials, especially over the last couple of years. We've been hearing that tone kind of ramp up, which actually leads me to a couple of issues, other issues that might be on the horizon. Of course, there's been some proposed bills in regards to arming teachers with guns. There's been proposed bills about how to basically respond to exactly what we're talking about. What are your thoughts about some of those things, the implementation of resource officers in the schools and things like that?
Yeah, there is unfortunately some legislation that is trying to be pushed forward to do those types of things, like give teachers guns and equip them with guns in school, which I do not support, and I would not support that on the school board, because we ask so much of our teachers. I don't think we should ask them to carry the responsibility of owning a gun and having a gun in their classroom. That's a lot. That's a lot of responsibility. That's a lot of liability. Our teachers aren't doing well either. What happens if a teacher's having a super bad day, and just those kind of things we don't necessarily think about. And that's why we can't be equipping our teachers with guns. What was the other issue that you brought up in regard to
resource officers?
Yeah, school resource officers is a very complicated issue, and somewhere where we definitely have to toe the line. I think the role of a school resource officer is to be a liaison and to kind of mediate the issues. But right now, they're acting entirely too much like police, and they're brutalizing our children in some instances, and it's not appropriate. And so I feel like I said, it's a line that we have to toe, because when we do have incidences breaking out and children are non-compliant and they're going wild, what do we do? I don't think we should be macing them, but I also think that we need someone there to step in that's not the teacher necessarily. But like I said, establishing their role and making sure they know their place and what they should and shouldn't be doing in the schools is very important.
That's a tough one. That's a tough subject. It's too easy for them to police the situation and be a part of that whole preschool prison pipeline, especially for young Black children, in particular, children of color. So that's a tough one. I was wondering what with all the problems that there are in the school system right now, what are some of the biggest? What's the biggest thing that you want to see changed that inspired you to be in and to jump in?
Well, I'd say the biggest issue that OPS is facing right now is definitely the staffing shortage. I don't know if that's something that I'd be able to be elected in time to do something about. It might be gone by the time I get elected, which is like a year from now. So, but I definitely think we need to prioritize the teachers, because if there are no teachers, then there's no school. We can't have school without our teachers, and we need to be prioritizing them and their wants and their needs. They have been very vocal in what they need, and the district has not been giving that to them. So if I was to be elected, I would definitely make sure that their voices are heard and that what they want is implemented. They need more planning time. They need more mental health time. They just need more time. They have zero time. They're always covering for other classes. And it's a lot. It's taking a toll on their mental health, and we need to support them in any and every way possible.
Yeah, hear that. More teacher support would definitely be good. Just real quick, jumping into the chat, Pop says my last fight was 7th grade, so I would have a black eye and a rap sheet.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he was a kid these days. Yep. Right. Augie Kid said, interesting how school fights are being treated. They'll give you a felony as a child today, yet they're still forcing kids to learn about Romeo and Juliet, which in context amounts to familiar gang banging with a handful of teenagers and adults, but they won't ban that. Right. They ain't gonna ban that one.
All right. On Capulet.
Montague. Mr. Mayor Sanchez says the resource officers dress like police. Maybe if they dress differently, the officers would act differently and be looked at differently. That might help.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
Von Chapman says, what's her thoughts on CRT being taught in OPS? What's your thoughts on critical race theory being taught in Omaha public schools?
Yeah, so critical race theory is not being taught in OPS right now, but
I thought she was pulling up some notes or something. Right?
Yeah, it sounded like it.
I am. I do have my notes. Nice. I just want to make sure I hit on everything because I knew this issue was going to come up.
CRT.
Listen, I always come prepared. Okay.
Check you out.
Hey, proper preparation prevents poor performance, as I like to say. There you go.
But CRT is not being taught in our schools right now. It's a law theory that they teach to college-age students, and it's not something that's being taught in OPS right now. Do I think they need to teach more Black history in our schools? 100%. They need to make sure that the content is culturally relevant and is actually true, because how we like to whitewash our history. We need to definitely have more culturally relevant Black history in our schools, and just history for other cultures in general too. But there's currently a bill in the legislature. It hasn't even had a hearing yet, but it's LB 1077, and it wouldn't let teachers teach sexism, slavery, racial oppression, racial segregation, or racial discrimination. And 10 senators have signed off on it so far.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at in regard to my stance on CRT. CRT is not being taught in the schools, but there's legislation that's being pushed forward to act like it is, and trying to stop us from learning about our history, what makes America America. If we don't acknowledge those things, we're doing a great disservice to our children and the decisions that they'll make moving forward. We have to teach them about those things so that they don't make the same mistakes moving forward.
Yeah, that's a good answer. It sounds like you're up on it. We talk a lot about that here, and with the conclusions that we come to sound exactly like what you're saying. Like CRT is not a thing, but there needs to be there are people out there that are making laws and trying to do things in order to act like CRT is a thing, and we need to be battling that. Very, very interesting comments that you're making there. If you guys are keeping track of time, because you got to be somewhere, it's 8:00 right now, or actually 1 minute till. If you believe in the concept of time. If you're just joining us, this is First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. We got Brianna Full on, who's running for school board, seat on the school board. And so, we're deep in conversation with her right now, just getting how, her thoughts on some of the issues and problems there. If you have any questions for her, go ahead and put them in the chat. We'll definitely read those to her. and I'm sure she'll be happy to answer those questions. And before we got Buddy. Looks like you got some other stuff you wanna
Yeah,
ask as
I got
well.
a couple other ones.
That's cool. Yeah, we jump into that. Before Buddy jumps into that, just want to say before you get off, we're gonna have to talk to you about Carol Blood's wings and how really instead of her bringing donuts in, she need to bring some wings so you can tell us what's
All
really
right.
going on. But we'll get to that in a minute. But go ahead, Buddy. What are the questions that you wanted to jump into for sure?
Really quickly, I wanted to hop into the chat. I get kid, man, and he says,
Yeah.
so under that bill, 1077, you said teachers wouldn't be
Yep.
allowed to teach any of human history. Basically, just no history classes at all. Just
Pretty
done no history
much.
classes.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
pretty much. But I actually wanted to pivot and ask about another bill that it was quite controversial last year. And it kind of goes along. You know where I'm going with this, Paul. Goes along with your bachelor's and your field of study. The attempt to update the sex ed standards and just how that whole situation played out. What are your thoughts about sexual education in OPS right now, and where we should go with it?
Yeah. Well, here's what I don't want for our students. I don't want them to experience our young women to experience unplanned pregnancy, because when they do, it scientifically the research leads to worse outcomes for them. They don't make as much money in the long term in their lifetime. Their children don't have as many opportunities. And I'm not saying that unplanned pregnancy is the end all be all and you're going to have a terrible life if you get pregnant unplanned. My mom was 19 years old when she had me, and look where I am now. But I'm just saying, I don't want our young women to experience unplanned pregnancy. I want to get our STI rates under control in Douglas County, because they are the highest in the country, and they have been for many years now. And I don't want any child feeling ostracized and discriminated against because they don't know things about themselves in regard to their sexuality. So I feel like sexual education is extremely important to be teaching in our schools, and age appropriate sex education. Parents have a choice to pull their child out of that class if they don't want their child to be learning those concepts, which I think is very important. If the parent wants to step in and teach their child those things on their own, I think they should be able to do that. But sexual education is a tool that we can use to help with those things that I was talking about: unplanned pregnancy, high STI rates, discrimination, and I think it's necessary.
Interesting. Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
In the chat, Mama God, good morning. Says my parents did not worry about me being gunned down in a drive-by. Unfortunately, today adolescents have lived with death violence in their community throughout their whole life. Their resolutions do not have reverence for life, so life is minimized and hope further diminished.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure that you have some thoughts. You can't be wanting to do something for the school board and not have some thoughts on school violence, on school shootings, all these things going on in the country. Any solutions for that? You have any plans, any agendas to help address that?
I think that OPS needs to have a better planned response about how they respond to trauma and death in the community, because I don't think it's comprehensive enough as it is right now. Sometimes kids just get a voice on the intercom saying, we're sorry this happened. If you want to go to your school counselor, they're available. And that's it. That I think we need more support in the way that OPS responds to trauma and death and violence in the community, and offering support to the students, not only the students, but the teachers as well, because that definitely affects them. When one of their students dies, or one of the parents of their students dies, something that affects them too. And they need support just as much as the students, and they're also not getting it at the degree that they need to. So just offering those mental health supports, kind of what I was talking about, just like a very robust, comprehensive mental health support system, is so important, and something that I would work towards immensely, and something that needs to be enacted right this very second. Like, I wish I was in office right now so I could do something about it right now, because the need is there, and we need to have a sense of urgency about it. I feel like with a lot of these issues, not just mental health, we have no urgency. We're kind of just like, you know, but these are immediate needs that we have to take care of immediately, and I would definitely do something about it, like, quickly.
I hear that. If Michelle Troxclair was here right now, she would ask you, "How do you feel about arts in school? What are you going to do about
I love arts in
both?"
school.
Good.
I
Okay.
I feel like more money needs to go towards it. Unfortunately, that's the first thing that gets cut if a school has to make cuts to their budget. Arts are incredibly important, in expressing yourself and getting that energy out. Not all kids like to play sports; they like to do art, and that's just another way to get their energy out and direct their attention to something positive rather than going out and fighting or doing whatever they do, getting into trouble. Um, Art is an incredibly helpful tool that we can use for our young people to help them stay out of trouble and just develop them to better people and help them discover themselves.
Do you know of any initiatives or anything going on in the school board now that you would, if you got elected, you would jump in and try to support and push and work on?
Well, I believe they're trying to do a new pathways program, which is basically like a student picks a pathway in, I believe it's middle school or high school, and they get specialized education based on what they want to do. And so I would imagine there's an arts or like broadcasting or like things like that. I would definitely support that, and it's something that's already happening actually. But I would definitely support something like that. Just specializing the education to the student, because so often we hear, I don't want to go to school because it's boring. Like, I don't care about anything that my teacher is telling me, and to be able to tailor what they like, I feel like will keep them more engaged in school. And so if there's an art pathway, get that kid in it, and hopefully it'll just help them in more ways than one.
Yeah. Brooke Rodriguez in the chat says kids definitely need art, especially now. She said future art teacher here, K through 12, hoping that I'll have a job when I finish school. That's what's up. I'm going to read a couple more comments in the chat, and while I do that, maybe you can think about this. Want to know a little bit more about you. What kind of arts are you into? What do you like to do? What's your fun time look like? In the meantime, Ty Williams says, I wish they would cut algebra 3 and making it a requirement for college. I like that. Von Chapman says black and brown identity should be a part of the OPS curriculum for no other reason than to maintain interest and continue inclusion in their education growth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that one. Brother Mayor Sanchez says the North Omaha community leaders have to come together and plead to put the guns down starting January 1, 2023 to 2024, a year of peace. Okay. Please put the guns down. That's going to be tough.
Yeah.
That's a tough one, because if you're going to ask for our youth to put their guns down, everybody in the state needs to put their guns down, and I don't see that happening no time soon. They're picking a whole lot of guns up, so I don't know.
Going the opposite direction.
Augie Kid says I can definitely vouch for how awful sex ed is in this abstinence state. I learned more from Katie Morgan's HBO sex specials as a teenager than I did in grade school or high school. I don't remember exactly, but I learned what's spermicide either from my mom or those specials, while my friends were baffled that it existed as a means of additional protection. Interesting. Yeah, I don't see how any. I mean, it's been like that forever though. It was like that when I was in school. Like, I don't like they everybody is real scared to touch that subject. Sophia is the only one. To me, I felt like she was like the lone soldier for a long time, like really fighting. I'm glad to see she's got some people, some mentees on her that got her back now.
Yep, she trained me up good. I'm a soldier.
That's what's up. Mama God says before and after school programs really helped me when I was a single parent to keep children off the streets. Are there those programs you will support or initiate?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I feel like it's kind of a part of what we were talking about earlier, bringing in those community partners to to beef up our before and after school programs. I feel like those are a huge part of the success of our child's development, being able to get those experiences that aren't necessarily in the classroom and help them develop healthy relationships with adults and feel like they have someone to talk to and who they can trust. Because sometimes we don't always get that. It's really hard to build a good relationship with your teacher sometimes. But I remember when I was a student, those after school programs, those people were my favorite people, and those were the people that I felt like I could go to. So we definitely need to beef up those programs 100%.
Cool. Judy Princess says, music, music, music. Are you a musician? Are you, what's your art? What do you
Yes,
like doing?
I love to sing. So when I was talking to you about karaoke with Jaqueen, like, we're getting it. We sound good.
Oh,
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, I was in
Herb in house.
I was in musicals in high school and college, and that really gave me an outlet and kept me out of trouble, and gave me more confidence, made me feel like I had self-worth. This was my thing. I was good at it. And it just helped me a lot. I still sing to this day. So
that's what's up. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely gonna have to get with you guys on that karaoke night over at the Culture House. That's
man, sounds like a good time. Good time.
Yeah.
Well, it's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't really have any more questions.
Yeah,
I am thoroughly impressed. I will say.
Now we have Brother Muhammad that's coming on Wednesday. He's also running for school board. So we got a few friends of First Sky Omaha that's running, and we're just trying to support all of y'all because somebody needs to get in there and start making some changes for real.
Man,
one thing we didn't get to talk about too much though is you're sitting there like we saw Senator Beryl Blood come on, roll on through just behind you. So you're obviously working at her office there too, and you support and back her. That's your job? You're on her campaign?
No, I'm not on her campaign. I just work as her legislative aide for all her senator duties in the Nebraska legislature. So I do not work on her campaign. I just work in the legislature as my regular 8 to 5, every day. So
how do we not start? How do we not talk about that earlier? That's okay. That's pretty huge. So, how's your experience there working as a legislative aide?
I love it. Senator Blood is an amazing boss. I'm learning so much from her. I love working in the legislature. I've been following it for many years now. Sophia's the one who got me into it and helped me realize the importance of policy on the state level. And so for me to get the opportunity to actually work here and help make some of these policy decisions is like, I never thought I'd be able to be in this position, so it's really amazing. And I'm very thankful, and I'm thankful for such an amazing boss who makes
she's cool.
Great wings. Yeah.
Amazing. And do you know that firsthand yet is the question.
I don't know that firsthand yet, but it will happen eventually. We always talk about doing stuff together. So one of these days we're gonna make some wings.
Next time she comes in there with some donuts, just be like, where I didn't even know where the wings is at. The reputation going on
in the trash. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's great. She's definitely a friend of First Sky Omaha. Yes. Shout out to her for bigging us up the other day. Brought a lot of new listeners just from her posting that.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So we really appreciate her and got to have her back on here real soon. And so we got to ask you since and now you don't have to now that you have not tried your boss's wings yet, you can leave that out of the equation. But to you right now, before you have your bosses, what are the best wings in Omaha?
Has anybody said Oscars yet?
No.
Ooh, Oscars
What's
is
this?
mine. Okay, but it's in West Omaha, and so
it's what?
In West Omaha, you got to drive a little bit.
That's why I don't know it. Okay.
Yeah, but it's honestly the best wings I've had in Omaha. They call it charbroiled or something like that. Double wet. Oh, it's so good.
Okay, so people have said everything. Have ran the gamut with this one, including vegan wings from from other places. This is the first one I feel is a little controversial. You trying to tell me they got some good wings in West Omaha?
Okay, as hard as this is to admit for me, like this is hard, but I have to be honest. I'm not a liar. Those wings at Oscars are good, so you definitely got to try them out. And they can deliver to you. You don't have to go to West Omaha.
We're gonna have to see what's happening.
I'm
gonna
have to look them up.
We got to see what's happening now. Von Chapman says, music and OPS taught me that harmony in music was as important as harmony between people. Like that.
All right.
Love that. Kateri Jimenpeto says, I can confirm and I don't go west of 90th. Okay. People are saying they get down. Mama God says the cabin wings.
Okay. See, mom's yeah, tell me. I'm looking. They got the double dip, double wet. Yes, got the Thai chili bourbon. That actually looks.
Say what? Okay,
you gotta try it. I'm telling you, just try it. Just try it one time, and then you gotta let me know how it was.
Is this a black-owned business?
I'm not sure.
Are some black people in the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if it's that good.
You're just assuming, but if it's that good, it got to be. I heard that. Right. Well, we're gonna have to try this one. I'm surprised. I'm glad you gave us another one. This is the first time I've heard this one.
Yeah, try it out. You won't regret it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brianna Full. She is running for school board. Thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate you.
You're welcome. And if you want to learn more about me, you can go to full4ops.com and make sure to request your early voting ballots if you haven't already. And primaries are on May 10th. So vote for Brianna Full on May 10th.
Yes, definitely check out her campaign and do some early voting for sure. That's what's going on. Appreciate you very much.
Of course.
And we'd love to have you back sometime too.
Yeah, I love the show. I literally listen to it every single morning. Y'all see me on the chat, so
yeah,
I'd love to come back.
I appreciate that. And let me know when karaoke is too, because I can't be singing.
Definitely.
All right, have a good one.
You too.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Oh man, I always hit the button too early.
Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah, man, she's awesome. I really like her. Thank you very much again for coming on. If you can hear us still, and love to have you back. And Brother Muhammad says, I enjoy the conversation, Miss Brianna Full.
Hey,
yes,
nice.
We will have Brother Muhammad on Wednesday, asking some of the same questions, and can't wait to get your answers as well. I love that we have some friends at Sky Omaha trying to jump into these seats, man. That's what's going on.
Trying to do some things. That's the whole point. Trying to get y'all to get up, move your bodies, mobilize, get some things done.
There it is. Let's take a quick break. You're listening to Sky Omaha Radio. Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. We'll be right back. I like how Carol Blood's whole office is listening to the show. That's what's up.
Hey.
I like that. Welcome back. Sky Omaha Radio. Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, and all of you, the chat chimers. Really appreciate everybody coming in on this 14th of February, Valentine's Day. What are you guys doing today? Anything special with your people? I've been hearing a lot of Galentine's Day going on. Must be a lot of single folks out here. Galentine's Day be going down. Yeah. And we were laughing the other day because I was out. I just went to M's Pub for dinner. Like what was it? Friday night, and was it Friday night? Might have been Saturday night. I can't remember, but no, I think it was Saturday night, and everybody was out with a date. There were so many people there. So many people coupled up. It was funny, and it was like the narrative was like, okay, baby, I'm gonna take you out tonight. don't mess with me tomorrow. It's Super Bowl. and then they get to make up for it on Monday night, reinforce, the day. Like he's like, it was just funny to me. Like, we might not be able to go out Monday night, and don't mess with me on Sunday. But we're gonna be out tonight. There were so many people out on dates on Saturday night.
We're gonna capitalize on this Saturday because tomorrow it's all about football.
Yes. What did you think of the game? Did anybody watch it? Who was rooting for? I want to know who was rooting for LA, because I didn't hear one person say they were yet. So let me know.
I'll be honest, man. I root for the underdog. I'm an underdog kind of cat.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. That's the reason why everybody was rooting for the other team. So
I mean, LA is stacked, man.
I don't know nothing about it, man. Just that they're from LA, so
Yeah, they got all the talent.
Is that right?
Yeah, okay, man.
Well, I mean, I watched some of the game. It seemed like it was close. It seemed like
it was a good game.
Yeah. I was it wasn't like they just ran over them. It seemed like it was pretty action packed.
It's actually pretty close. Yeah, almost didn't get out of there. Almost. Yeah, it was close. But anyway. Okay, Brianna in the chat, coming back. Thanks, and definitely thanks for joining us.
Yeah, for sure. Stay tuned. We do have another guest coming on here pretty soon from Flatwater Free Pres.
Yes,
we're going to be talking to a new person, somebody you haven't met yet. So this is going to be awesome. Can't wait to introduce this new journalist. Be real cool. Wanda Lewis says, I'm late. Well, good morning. Better late than never. Appreciate you.
Right.
If you missed part of the show, remember you can always go back to Facebook and watch the show in its entirety a little bit later on. And also, share the show as well, so we can get it to as many people as we can, for sure. Brooke says, I was definitely for LA Rams. I mean, come on, where we
home team from? Yeah, just because it's Cali. Yeah,
that's what's up. Black Dynamite says, I woke up yesterday and told myself LA for the win by 3, and then changed it to 7, but they won by 3.
Oh, dang. You're a betting man? You're betting man on that, right?
Ariel's 402 says, like Dr. Dre, I'm putting the beats in the sheets tonight. Okay, all right.
Oh, well, okay, yeah.
Valentine's Day, bro. Valentine's
Day. Right. I guess.
Let you get away with that one.
Right. More power to you, man. More power to you.
Jaquala Yarbrough says, I'm late. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Is that a new name?
Sounds like a new name, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Brooke says, the halftime show is really why I watched it. I mean,
yeah, I'm gonna have to go back and check that out. I missed that.
Yep. Pop says I was rooting for LA just because it was LA.
Okay, your whole fam.
He said this was the only game he watched all year, though. Hey, I appreciate you hitting me to where it was playing, Pops. I didn't think I was going to watch it, but then I ended up getting some more stories about it, and I was like, well, let me see what's going on here a little bit.
Catch it. Go ahead and catch it.
Yeah.
Again, man, shout out to Jay-Z, man, making that halftime show possible.
I mean, if you guys have forgotten about that, he signed a deal with NFL, and nobody liked that he did that. They thought he was selling out, but one of the first things he did was put people on the halftime show, and so we got to thank Jay-Z for that California Love halftime yesterday.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yep. All right, moving on from that, because that's as much as I've ever talked about football in my whole entire life. Usually I'm like, hey, that's great.
Yeah.
Are we talking about baseball or what?
It's more about the West Coast love than it is about the football game. Let's be honest.
That's what it felt like yesterday. The game was on the West Coast. LA won, and then it was the LA extravaganza during the halftime show. So
yeah.
It's all about California, man. It's all about California love.
I got to get out to Cali. I've been out there before, but I got to get out there soon.
Yeah, you got to get out there with us.
Yeah. Let me know, man. Be out there, IE.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. We'll just drive through the IE real fast.
Okay.
Get to the better places.
Okay. Oh, man. But yeah, definitely a welcome. If you just tuned in, got a couple people again saying they're late to the show here in the second hour. As usual, the Nanigans, we save that for Wednesday for the full shenanigans. But we do welcome you for Sky Omaha in the second hour, tweeting, tubing, twitching. So again, catch us everywhere that you like to watch your podcasts and things. Again, we are on Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. So definitely follow us there. And also make sure to check us out, friends of First Sky Omaha on Facebook. That is the group where it goes down. All the information there. Big shout out to all of the friends and the fam out there who are continuously dropping links and chats and stories, and just continue the conversation beyond this show and on the group. So again, we appreciate y'all for that. There is one thing before we have our guests come in that I did want to dive into, a quick call to action, if you will. And this is coming from Juanita Johnson, District 2 City Council member. This is on the Friends of First Sky Omaha page. This is support the plan, not the boundaries. The city administration has changed the 24th Street Improvement Project's boundaries without your participation. Talking about District 2, we will motion to delay the proposal in its current form so that we can continue to discuss to improve the 24th Street's Improvement Project. It's Tuesday, February 15th. So that's tomorrow at the city council meeting, and we'll be talking about this more in the HAPS. But again, Juanita Johnson trying to save the deuce, man. Looks like they're trying to make some changes.
Yeah, we talked about this a few months back. They kind of redrew something so that there was part of like the lake or the river or something that was going to not be North Omaha again. For the reasons of them probably building some waterfront something somewhere. And all Juanita Johnson really wants to do is postpone that. She wants to put a pause on it so she can check with her constituents, and we can all kind of talk about it and get some input on it about whether or not this change ought to happen. So if you can be a part of it tomorrow, I think it's a pretty important thing to be a part of, and make sure that we can get that paused and really get to talking about it a little bit. Us right here, we need to discuss a little bit more, I think, just amongst ourselves. So there definitely needs to be more discussion there, and this is a move to pause this decision. So hopefully you can support that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at this Sarah Johnson article because speaking of city council and mobilizing and getting on, just getting on the move. Sarah Johnson, I don't know if you want to get into this. We got a few minutes.
Yeah, we got a little minute here. Probably about 3 or 4 minutes we can get into it. And I really am interested in this story because like it's pretty dynamic how she handled it.
It's relevant because we are with this call to action, and we definitely, again, if you can make it, urge everyone to go out and support the move to delay this 24th Street plan. But this is Sarah Johnson, someone who actually ran for city council herself. She went up against Pete Festerson last year in District 1 because she says she was sick of the status quo, quote unquote. And plus, she says that he was ignoring tough issues like racism, excessive police budget, climate action, and things like that. Of course, she ultimately lost, but that did not stop her from, again, stepping up and mobilizing. She continued to go to city council meetings and speaking up and giving comment, and continued to, even if it wasn't her job per se, to be active in the city council. And that all came to an end recently, as she says she's tired of it. She's had enough. She's fed up. She says that the board basically doesn't listen to those who make comment. She says that she feels like it's a waste of time. And although that she's blessed to have the flexibility in her schedule without missing hours or losing out on money, it's one thing for those who are missing out on money and do have to take out of work to go and make comments at city council meetings, and as seen in the library, those comments not taking into consideration.
Right. Yeah. I can imagine. It's funny because that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if I was a part of this thing, I'd be so frustrated all the time. Man, it's just really interesting to hear somebody like feeling that way and being like, never. You know what? I'm done. I got to save my own mental health here. Definitely has been doing a lot.
Yeah, and it is a mental health thing. She says, "I'm fried, acting out, done."
Yeah. Wow. I've never heard nobody do it. Nobody do that way. So that's really interesting.
She says, the respect I have for myself and my time paired with the realization that it's no longer good for my mental health to keep showing up, asking for reasonable changes only to be met with indifference, gaslighting, and condescension. I'll no longer subject myself to witnessing the bogus charade that is decision making at City Hall, let alone try to influence it in this particular way. It's basically the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Wow. I mean, you can't. What can you say? You can. You can't really. What can you say? That's just well put. Mark Manor in the chat says, following Sarah and her live tweets from the city council and her post in the city council have given me more insight into what is happening there in the last year than I've known my entire life. I'm glad she's taking care of herself, but her voice is a massive loss.
Yeah, man.
Very true. Very true.
It is, but it's kind of just a glimpse into one. It takes more than just one person. It definitely takes more than just one person, and you see how quickly someone can burn out when it's just them alone, which also goes to why we're doing this and having a group conversation, and inviting elected officials, and having trying to have a group conversation so we can organize and get things done more effectively than just people showing up to city council. It definitely takes more, but also, I mean, it speaks volumes that someone trying to do something, just trying to do good for the community, trying to make some change, running for office, losing, and still going to city council, and now this is the result that it burns out. It actually does not bode well for others trying to be civically engaged. It's kind of like once you do all that you feel like you can, and it's still not enough.
There you go. We're running a little late here to get into our first guest, but our second guest here. But we want to make sure that we let people know. Go back to the chat. Definitely read that. Kimera Snipes is on. She says, "Good morning, y'all. Appreciate it." She's talking about LB 158. We'll get to that after we talk to our guests as well.
Yeah,
but yeah, lots more to talk about this. I'm just really interested in the reasons why Sarah had to decide she had to leave. Wow. We might have to have her back on to talk about this as well. So.
Yeah. And we need a voice, and the reader, and some of our partners are looking to be one of those voices. Again, although individuals like Sarah Johnson are stepping down and we're losing that voice, we have the reader with the Documenters program, so that's one thing to look into. And then we also have partners like Flatwater Free Pres who are doing the work.
That's right. We also got Lil Mama who's speaking up.
She's chiming up.
She's chiming up. Like I've had enough.
Just like Sarah Johnson.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest on. We're going to bring her on right now. You're in the studio. Thank you very much for joining us. This
is
Natalia. Yes, buddy. You'd like to do the honors here.
Yes. Hello, welcome again. As previously mentioned, this is one of our partners, one of the writers for Flatwater Free Pres, Miss Natalia. And excuse me if we mispronounced the last name. Is it Alamdari?
Yes, yeah, it's exactly how it's spelled.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, we want to make sure we get names right around here. But welcome again. If I'm correct, you are a freelance writer. Are you on staff with?
I'm a staff reporter.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we have 2 staff reporters now.
Okay. Great. That's you. Is it Yankee?
It's pronounced Yenchi.
Yenchi. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I'm. First of all, how long have you been at Flatwater Free Pres? Let's start there, because it's a somewhat new thing.
Sure. I've been here for, I think, a little over 3 months. I started at the beginning of November.
Okay. Sounds good. How are you liking it so far?
It's been good. It's been, an adjustment from, I came from like a daily newspaper environment, which is very like you're filing multiple stories a day sometimes, go, to Flatwater is much more of like a long-term project kind of pace, which very, very different, something to adjust to. And yeah, it's just been an adjustment to that, an adjustment to Omaha, moving to a new place. But it's been going good.
Where are you from originally?
So I'm originally from Houston, Texas, but I moved from Wilmington, Delaware, because I worked at a paper out there before here.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Texas in the building, H-Town.
Yeah.
I see here you're also a graduate of University of Missouri, Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I actually have some professors from there. So well trained. Also, I see that you hit the ground running as well. You've already posted 2 stories. One of which we actually already talked about here on the show. The story about overtime in the prisons and prison employees doubling their salaries and the cost of that. So first of all, I'd like to say just good work as a fellow journalist. Good work on that report. Is that sort of your focus? Are you going to be focusing on prisons, or will you be covering other things?
I think it is a main focus. It's not like officially in my title or anything for that to be my specific beat. But that is one of the main things that we as a team are focusing on right now. That I've kind of just fully leaned into over the past couple of months of just, learning everything I possibly can, talking to as many people as possible. So we have the past 2 prison stories that we've put out, and then we have a couple more things in the mix, just trying to dig more into it, especially as they talk about it throughout the course of session over the next couple of weeks too.
Yeah. And being again someone who's not from the area, sort of fresh into the area, but as a journalist and having that kind of that driving, burning question and desire to learn, as I know journalists have. What are you learning? What are you taking, or what is your perspective of? Let's just stick to this topic of the prison system in Nebraska, because it is definitely a topic that we talk about here a lot on the show.
Sure. I think one of the most interesting things to me so far, and I think that the CJI report actually mentioned this, was how, there's not one clear solution or like fix out of all the challenges that the prisons are facing right now. And just realizing how interconnected everything is, like that's something that I had never fully thought about, especially because I hadn't really covered prisons before. But, just thinking about, your staffing and how it ties to overcrowding and how that ties to, access to resources and programming, and then that ties to who you're able to parole. Just like it's just this unending cycle of things. And that's been one of the biggest realizations I've had, and also one of the things that makes reporting on it so difficult, because you can't like write a book with every article, but there's so much context and nuance that you want to be able to cram into things.
Yeah, and I kind of anticipate that Flatwater having the longer form style that might kind of assist in breaking some of these things down and really educating the people, which ultimately is why we're here. The people need an education, and we need voices like yours just staying on top of things. So kind of you mentioned it, but I am curious, what are some of the other stories that you're working on right now that we should be seeing coming out soon?
Sure. Well, I have a story coming out this week about rural housing and just the insane difficulty people face when they're trying to move to rural Nebraska and looking for a home. Like, there are towns where they've told me, yeah, we haven't built a home in years. People come in, they ask us, oh, like, what's on the market? There's literally nothing on the market, and just people trying to navigate that kind of struggle. Other than that, a couple more prison related stories, digging more into parole and, who's able to get programming in the prison, and at what point in your sentence are you able to get that programming, and kind of how that makes a difference in how you move through and hopefully out of the system when you get the programming, and how it affects all of that. Aside from that, I mean, I'm personally interested in education stories. That's where I started as a reporter. I have a couple ideas there, but it's kind of in the background, haven't fully had time to think through all of that. But really, my job is very open-ended, which is fun and exciting.
That's cool. That sounds like a good environment to kind of dig deep on some things. That housing story is really interesting. I haven't thought about anybody that's trying to move to rural Nebraska and what the market is like if you're trying to do that. That's really interesting. I can't wait to check that out. What do you think? I know that you've been here long enough now to kind of like see the landscape. You've probably done some research on some of the other news, alternative news, and mainstream news things here, and kind of get a sense of what's going on with the news here. How do you feel like Flatwater is fitting in the grand scheme of that? Do you and with the purpose that you guys are over there? I know that you guys are about social justice, a lot of different things. Where do you see Flatwater fitting in there?
Right. And this was kind of kind of going back to that mental adjustment I mentioned earlier. I think that our place is, you have the daily outlets out there in Nebraska. You have the World Herald, now you have the Examiner, going at those daily stories. What's happening in session today? What did the governor say? Crime beats, things like that happen on a daily basis. They have that covered. That's not really our lane. And that's been something for me to try and wrap my head around of like, okay, you're not doing the dailies. Don't stress over that part. But I think that really our place is, like you said, those longer term stories, really focusing in on accountability, the data behind things, taking what could be a daily story and turning it into something longer and more in depth with all that nuance. And maybe even on a less serious note, I think our place is just telling really interesting, well-told stories as our tagline, important stories well told. So, slice of life stories from small towns in Nebraska, stories from North Omaha, just like really interesting happenings in Nebraska that more people should know about.
Do you feel like that's solving or filling a niche, or what am I trying to ask here? Do you feel like that's part of the solution? Is the approach that you guys have as part of? So, first of all, have you thought about like issues and problems here? Like, have you had enough time here to see where there's some needs, and do you feel like your guys' model is filling that?
I think I can answer that question, because I think it's really similar to lots of other media landscapes in other states where, the World Herald and other places are doing really great work, and it's not that we're replacing anyone in any way. We're more so a supplement to it. And that kind of ties into our whole mission of whenever we publish something, everyone else in the state is also able to publish it on their site. So we're kind of like this added bonus to the news landscape, I think. And the need that we do fill is being able to have that time to like go deep on stories that, even when I was a daily newspaper reporter, like I would have never been able to spend as much time on stories as I do here.
Yeah, I think that's definitely needed. That's why we do this. It's like, it's pretty much deep dive conversations on certain subjects that keep in evergreen subjects, stuff that keeps coming up as well. So I think that's why we got a good partnership going with Flatwater, and also because you guys reach areas and places that we don't. A lot of those rural stories and stuff I get hip to because I've been focused on Omaha so hard that I don't really think outside the box there sometimes. So really appreciate those stories as well. Just a few more minutes of your time, and I've got about 3 more minutes, as a matter of fact. And I'm sitting here feeling like something's missing, and I think what I feel like is missing is we're just meeting you. We don't know you yet, so instead of like going deep on the stories for the next 3 minutes, I kind of want to just like ask you a few questions about you mentioned that you have an adjustment that you've had to make just moving here from where you were before. What are some of the biggest differences that let's take Delaware for instance, like coming from Delaware, which is it always feels like another planet to me for some reason. Like Delaware has always been like this way other place. Comparison to Omaha, like what are some of the differences that stand out in your brain? Like what are the things you have to work on? You know what I'm saying?
Right. There's definitely that difference between East Coast, Midwestern vibes. That's been not a huge adjustment because I went to college in the Midwest. So like it's not like it was totally new culture shock for me. But also just going from a blue state where everyone, at least in the legislature for the most part, seems kind of on the same page politically, to I feel like things are there's a lot more contested issues here, it feels like. And I wasn't a political reporter in Delaware, so that's just kind of going on casual observations I had. Yeah, the Delaware is kind of strange where you won't necessarily get legislators saying controversial things out loud or on the record. So that was going to be a change, I think, regardless of where I ended up moving.
Feel like a battleground or something like that? That's interesting. Yeah, okay. Well, that's very interesting. In the chat, real quick. Here, let me do that for you. Von Chapman in the chat says, "Will Flatwater Press do a story on why there are disproportionate Black and Brown folks in Nebraska prisons?" A very good question to ask with the series of articles that you're writing.
Sure, that's definitely something we're looking into. Same with age demographics in the prisons. And also parole is one of where we're trying to look at racial disparities there as well.
Where you been getting your information there? Like, who have you been able to talk to officials in the prison? Has it been easy to get the information?
No, it has not. We have some data requests that we've been able to get some parole data that we're still sorting through. I am not the person to ask about data. That's not my strong suit. But we have data that we're. I'm sorry?
We said we know who the data guy is over there.
Yes, Matt, and also Yenchi is just like a data wizard. Like she's
Really?
amazing at it. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm sorry, where was I going with this? Oh, it's with any public agency, just going back and forth trying to get specifics on things. But yeah, you gotta really be dogged with consistently following up. Like, hey, did you see my email? Did you get my call? So that's just been a struggle, but we have the time, so I'm just gonna keep on making the calls.
Nice, I like it. You finding that you're making pretty good connections out here as far as where you gather your info?
I think so. I think I'm like slowly building up this network of, like advocacy types, nonprofits, people to just check in with about things. Even parents of people who are incarcerated, they've been just like this huge help in learning more about, what is that actual lived experience instead of just like kind of talking about things on the abstract surface level. So it's been going well.
That's good. Okay. Well, I really appreciate you coming in, and we'll definitely have to have you back anytime that you're writing anything and you want some feedback, because this is kind of what we do here. We talk to who we call the chat chimers in our chat here, and there's a lot of people that contribute, and so anytime that you want to come back or ask some questions of the chat chimers, please do. And us being partners of First Sky Omaha, you're welcome to come back anytime and all that good stuff. So we hope to have you back and talk about some of the things you're into. These series of articles you're doing about the prison, very, very important stuff to us. We do talk a lot about that here. And so we got a guy, a contributor named Paul Fieldman, that is on the subject. I don't know if you know him, but it might be a good connection for you on these series of articles. So I'll put you in touch with him. Sure. He's a friend of First Sky Omaha, and really kind of digs deep and all in on the prison reform. So be a good guy to talk to for you. But anyway, thank you very much for coming through, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Hopefully.
Great. And if anyone ever has any ideas that they want to pass along, like they're welcome to shoot me an email. My phone number is probably somewhere on the internet too.
What's your email address? Let me throw it in the chat right now real quick.
Sure. It's N for my first name, then ALA, M as in Mary, D as in dog, ARI at flatwaterfreepress.org.
Okay, at flatwaterpress.org. Perfect. Thank you. If you guys got any ideas and you want to shoot her away, you know what she's working on, so go ahead and hit her up on the email. And like I said, we'll love to have you back to talk about some of these. So
great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.
Bye. And with that, we're going to go to a quick break. It looks like Lil Mama needed to have a conversation with Buddy real quick. So so he's back there handling that. And we'll be back in a minute. So stay tuned. Once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you, the chat chimers. Stay tuned. The Haps coming up. Yo, 8:49. If you're keeping track of time and believe in the concept, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich on this Valentine's Day, February the 14th.
Man.
2022. It's already February the 14th, 2022.
Halfway over.
Trip. That's right. In the meantime, we got some little Trekkie words of wisdom for you. Starfleet Nation. Space is the place, y'all. A little less analysis and a little more action. That's what we need. That's Dr. Leonard McCoy. That's right. A little less analysis, a little more action. That's what we need. I like that. That's
man.
Definitely a First Sky Omaha thing right there, I think, man. You know.
Yeah.
Do the stuff.
It's a term I've learned over the last couple months. Analysis paralysis.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. It's definitely something I got to watch out for.
Man, it's a real thing.
I always say during Trekkie Words of Wisdom, the Starfleet Daily Meditation, this is one of my favorite characters in the series, and I realize that they're just all good characters.
You do say that a lot.
Leonard McCoy is another. Dr. Leonard McCoy is another of one of my favorite characters in the series. But there's a lot of them. I guess there's a lot of them. So anyway, there you go. We're all about action around here too, man. We want to put our money where our mouth is, and always support. So definitely support Flatwater Free Pres as well. As you can see, they write stories, and then their model is to let everybody use those stories. Everybody get some deep dive action going on. So we're deep into the nonprofit world of news, and our partners are also. So we encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to Flatwater Free Pres as well as First Sky Omaha. Hit the donate button. Really appreciate you and everybody that's done that already. In the meantime, like I said, 8:51. Brother Muhammad says, family, I'm on my way to Adams Park Community Center for my walk. Look to do 1.5 miles. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be with you today.
Hey.
Salam. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you. And appreciate your contribution to what we're doing here. Brother Muhammad says, thanks again to Miss Brianna Full. Again, if don't miss Wednesday's show, it's going to be great. Brother Muhammad, who's also running for school board, will be on, and we're going to interview him and talk to him a little bit about why he's doing this. Yep. Michelle Troxclair will be in the house with us as well. She'll have questions, so it'll be a nice family gathering on Wednesday. So definitely stay tuned for that. In the meantime, buddy, what's on your mind?
Man, well, as always, appreciate Miss Full for coming through, and also Miss Natalia for joining us. Again, all of you for joining the chat. Before we get out here, there are a few haps, as Brother Melvin Muhammad says. If you want to join him for a morning walk, again, he'll be at the Adams Center. So, get out there. Even if you don't join him, just make sure you're getting out there, getting active, and moving your body. That's what it's about, man. Even in this time of pandemic and isolation and quarantining, make sure you're still getting some fresh air and getting outside.
Yeah, because this is all the movement I get every day. Everything else needed help with them shoulders. Get a workout, boy. Little California love, appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
Feeling pretty good today about that.
It is that time.
They partying in Cali, boy. That's real.
Celebration.
That's what's happening. It is time for the haps. That is the time that we're talking to you about some things we think you should go check out and be a part of, and some things and it's time for you to let us know too what it is that we should be bigging up on the show. Buddy, what's the haps for the peoples?
Man, well, of course, we definitely got to give a shout out to our partners over at the OEAAs. Is going down February 20th. It's quickly approaching. Just over a week away, the 2021 Omaha Entertainment and Arts Awards. They've actually already begun production of some of those things and elements of the show. So definitely check that out. Again, Moria Corpus, Ali Peeler will be the hosts, and we'll be recognizing through 55 categories, honoring our local musicians, dancers, actors, poets, you name it, man. All the performers and creatives in the area getting some love. So definitely shout out to those who have been nominated. Those of you who are, who have not hosted, but voted and recommended, some of your friends and families and participated in that whole process. A big shout out to you. So again, this will be live streamed on Facebook and YouTube February 20th. You can RSVP for the event. So again, stay tuned for more information on that. And big shout out to the fam over at the Omaha Arts and Entertainment Awards.
And it is a free event.
Yes.
But you do have to register, so go check that out at what is it? OE-A dot something. Richard already put it in there, so it's
yeah.
OEA-awards.org.
Yeah, because I definitely did not have that right in front of me. It was close, but I did not have that in front of me. So thanks to Star Trek Rich for that one as always. Also in the chat, Wanda Lewis says City Council meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m. sharp. Development of 24th Street. Yes, that is another call to action that we're directing the friends and the family's attention to, again, in support of Councilwoman Juanita Johnson trying to delay the proposal for the 24th Street improvement project. Again, they're trying to move the boundaries of that project and sort of they're making the boundaries smaller, right? They're limiting that area.
Last I heard, they were cutting off like parts of the waterfront somewhere. So, and, so yeah, there's all she really wants to do is postpone this,
right?
So they're not making these jump decisions without the public's talking about it. So.
Yeah, the stakeholders, if you will, chiming into the situation. So again, as Ms. Wanda Lewis said, tomorrow, 2 p.m. sharp, City Council meeting. Definitely make sure you stepping up and getting active to help delay this proposal. In the words of Brother Vaughn Chapman, the mayor is obviously doing all she can to nullify the quote-unquote blue dot, and that will create voter apathy going forward. So let's definitely, again, step up and defend this assault on our community.
Very true.
So yeah, there's that. Also, speaking of a call to action, I think this call to action for Governor Ricketts to issue and release, to accept and release those funds is still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
No, actually, the hearing took place over the weekend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Again, this is in regards to Governor Ricketts' refusal of the $120 million in federal rental assistance. So that actually
we'll have to get a report on that one. Yep.
Yeah, definitely have to look into that. So if any of you did happen to go down there over the weekend, if you were able to make it to the city council or the state capitol to speak up against, again, Governor Ricketts refusing that $120 million, let us know.
Yep. That's what's up.
That's pretty much all I got, though, man. You have anything else?
I got no haps at this point. No. And I will say that brother Senator, what do we call him? Mayor Sanchez.
Yeah, man.
Says when is the inaugural First Sky Omaha picnic food backpack drive?
Okay, that's not the first time I've seen somebody say that.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it'd be a cookout. We don't use picnic. But we are planning on doing the cookout. It will have to be in the time when the weather's nice.
Oh yeah. We're children of the sun.
I can guarantee you it ain't gonna be when it's cold out. So we're talking about doing that. Another really fun announcement too is I'm not gonna tell you what the thing is, but First Sky Omaha has teamed up with the House of Afro Capes and Curls, who does AfroCon.
Yeah.
And we got something coming in August as well. There's going to be a few things that First Sky Omaha is going to be doing as far as events are concerned, but they're probably going to be around late spring, summer. So look out for that. Mark Manor says the OEA's dash caused me issues for so long. If you got issues, I don't know what to do about that if you got them. So, but yeah, still try to register if you can, best you can. Check out the OEA's. It is the premier awards ceremony that we have here in Omaha, and that really recognizes a lot of the artists in town and all the arts. So definitely check them out. And I really appreciate that. Tamika Johnson gives us a love, peace, and sun, which I love very much so. Pop says, great show. See you all on Wednesday. Again, don't forget, Brother Muhammad, who's running for school board, is going to join us Wednesday. He's a friend of First Sky Omaha. You've seen him in the chat. He'll be here. Michelle Trotzler will be here for a soapbox moment. And so we'll have a funky good time on Wednesday as well. Von Chapman says, how can so-called affordable housing be affordable if Ricketts continues to refuse the needed help?
Well,
we need to get a report on what happened this weekend at the Capitol there and find out about the efforts to make him take this money and help some people out with it. So we'll find out about that and talk about that Wednesday, I'm quite sure. In the meantime, it's 8:59. You got some words for the people?
Yeah. First of all, I wanted to. Oh, okay. This must be old. I saw something about Stacey Abrams being nominated for Nobel Peace Prize. I wanted to give her a shout out if that was true, but I think that.
I've
Yeah, I
been
think
seeing
that's
that
old.
around too. It's old. It's older though.
Yeah, I think that's so. So anyway, a big shout out to y'all. We appreciate y'all as always for chiming into the chat, joining the conversation. As always, this is a ongoing conversation about what matters to us and how we can affect change in our community. So we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Definitely a big shout out to Miss Brianna Full and also Natalia Alamdari. Yes, again from Flatwater Free Pres for speaking with us and taking time out of their busy schedules again to talk to us this morning. And as always, catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Without further ado, I'll kick it to you, Paul. Take it
right
away.
on. Mama God says, love you all. Great day to all. Appreciate you. Thank you very much. I'm so sorry I missed I should have reached out to you about that Super Bowl party because I know you did it up, Mama God. Thank you very much for everybody. Thanks Star Trek Rich for going ahead and putting that First Sky Omaha donate button. Click right from the chat if you are so inclined to donate to help us keep this going. FirstSkyOmaha.com. Hit the donate button if you're already a reoccurring member. We really appreciate that. That's what helps us keep this on. Tell a friend, and please continue to support. Also support Flatwater Free Press.
Yes.
They're also a nonprofit organization that is running news and deep dive. As you can see, you'll get to know more about them as we go on as well. And of course, we'll have somebody from the Reader come in on Friday as well. Definitely check out reader.com. A lot of the stories that we talk about come from these sources. Brooke says, great show. Appreciate you. Leah Margolis says, great show as always. Thank you. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that.
Yes.
I love that we had a Carol Blood, put some respect on her name, cameo.
Hey.
Came through with some donuts. Like, what up? What up? She knew what was going on. She knew the first guy was on right now. That's what's up. I want to give thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. We will be having them on in the next couple of weeks as well. An elder from the Omaha tribe is going to come and speak to us. Actually, and also I want to give a shout out to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. That's Pops and everybody. If that's Pops, my Mama God, that's all of our elders that allow us to do this and give us their blessing. We appreciate you. I want to give a shout out to Star Trek Rich and the Weberized crew. Thank you so much for allowing us to be in this beautiful Weberized studio. If you have podcast ideas, go to Weberized.com. They get down. And they will help you get your idea out for sure. I want to give a shout out to Buddy and his family over the living room in Atlanta, Georgia. Thank you very much for allowing us to be in your living room and for all the family that's in the back trying to be quiet so Daddy can do his thing up front. Really appreciate y'all. And of course, all of you who I call the chat chimers. Thank you very much. We cannot do this without you. This conversation is a beautiful thing, and we love everybody that's contributing. Really appreciate you. We'll see you Wednesday. We got Brother Mohammed on, who's running for school board, and we'll have Michelle Troxclair in the house as well, and there'll be a soapbox moment coming from her, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, between time, take care of each other. Like Miss Erica Felt says, keep your space. I like that. You just keep your space, man. That personal distance. Stay safe. Stay unsick. And, mask up, fist up, all that stuff. Take care of yourselves. And we'll see you Wednesday. It's supposed to be some nice weather in the next couple of days, so enjoy the sun. And we'll see you Wednesday, man. Peace. Peace.
By the way, Landlords. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroad, with the key.
By any